Alright, a wonderful good day everybody and welcome back here to my channel. First of all, I'd like to say that I hope everybody's doing alright. Especially the US has been hit pretty hard recently. And, well, I just hope that everybody's just at home watching videos like this one. And, enjoying the little break that they have. But on to the next thing here. So I actually had to kind of force myself to play Magic this time around. There was also a PTQ yesterday that I could have played, but I just didn't find the motivation to do it because Modern has kind of degenerated into the format or into the things that I don't like about Pioneer. And that is mainly that everybody's just playing cards that have so many or fill so many roles in any given matchup that on the one hand finesse and good skillful play really becomes secondary because most of the lines are pretty self-explanatory and it's always everybody can play an Astrolabe and then have better mana and stuff, and same goes for Ren and 6, etc. And on the other hand, all of these cards provide so much value that it's almost impossible to ungrind any of those decks, be it Junt with Ren and 6, be it banned anything with Icefang Wall, Astrolabe, and Uro, be it Wirza with Opta Foundries, or then Big Mana with, that you also can't attack due to the fact that Field of the Dead is just killing mid-range and control in the long run. So it's become really, really difficult to find a niche in this meta that one can occupy. So let me talk about, I haven't tested it yet, because as I said, like the only times that I actually played Merfolk to get a hold of all these islands playing people. So let's talk about this. First of all, I cut Jace Prince Prodigy because for the most part, yeah, he's not doing enough anymore in a meta where your opponents are just crashing with way more valuable stuff on 2 mana than a Jace. And so I cut that. The Crux is still in here. It's also main win condition after all. But then I went with Liliana Last Hope to kill Icefang Qualls, and also, to be honest, a lot of creature decks that are trying to go under these very value-based strategies. So I think Liliana is actually pretty good main board inclusion here. Then there is Narset, which I typically don't play in Grixis because it doesn't function well with all the creatures that I'm playing, but I cut a lot of the creatures, and I think just now that I'm also going to go without the Nimble here in order to further facilitate the Narset, and therefore I'm just going to try playing the Jace here and go a little bit more top heavy. Then to the sideboard, Spellsnare, I think it's actually, so typically I would like to play here, Mystical Dispute, of course, but I think due to the fact that I need to be able to counter like Ren and 6s, etc. on 2 mana, I do want to go with Spellsnare. Also, Spellsnare, of course, is good in the matchups that are playing Kroxa, like the Rakdos decks, etc. Then we have to have a little bit more Graveyard Hate that actually exiles cards from my opponent's graveyard. So Nil Spellbombs over Jigsaw Jailer. Veil Push still in here. Collective Brutality as always. Then I think that Bitter Blossom could be really, really good in the meta. It's a little sad that we don't have any way of gaining life over the course of the game, but overall, Bitter Blossom does, first of all, most decks still can't get rid of it. I mean, Teferi can bounce it, yes, but other than that, only through a cryptic command. So Bitter Blossom will probably get out a couple of tokens, and then all these decks are running super little removal, and they are very defensive in like Mystical Dispute and a Veil of Summer, etc. So that oftentimes like they can't even counter a turn 2 Bitter Blossom, and if you get down on turn 2 and then just defend it for a couple of turns, you know, Ice Vanquil isn't a problem anymore. Then they have to heavily rely either on Planeswalkers or on Uro, and both of which, like Planeswalkers, Bitter Blossom is pretty good against Planeswalkers in general, except for Teferi. And Uro, at least you do have a couple of blockers since that doesn't have Trample, that's pretty good. Then we have Ashiok for big mana, and Kalitas. Kalitas might actually be... So I do want to have Kalitas for the life gain, but I think I'm going to go with a Damnation here. To really appreciate what I'm doing with the rest of the deck. Alright, let's jump into the league and see how this goes. Alright, welcome to round number 1. Hand is keepable, although we don't have access to red mana. We do have a lot of early disruption here, and then hopefully can get a... Oh shit. Yeah, worst possible game here on turn 1. In round 1. Alright, let's take the Goblin Guide. Spellsnare is going to be good. Fail Push is good. Collective Brutality is good. Lucka. But yes, still, like, we're taking at least 3 more next turn from that. Oh, that's so lucky. That's so annoying. Alright, so I'm taking the Eidolon and then we take 6, 9, go down to 10. Then I can take the Boros Charm with the Snapcaster, and then he needs to draw. A removal spell for my Snap. Moto being bucked again. Like both times we take a creature and both times he draws exactly that creature. Alright, so I gotta force it here. Go with the Snapcaster. And actually take the Lightning Bolt. But he'll draw it again anyway, because Moto is how Moto is. Now, of course, he can use the Collective Brutality to protect his creatures. And the Collective Brutality, Boros Charm. That's another thing that I noticed. Like, Moto seems to be even more broken than it usually is. I only have hands that either lack a color, have 5 lands or 1 land. Alright. That did not work out. Would have been even better if I had played Bitter Blossom in the main board. Well, I guess we have to go with Croxa, because otherwise we just lack. Things to win the game. So if he does have multiple creatures, then going with the failed push first would actually be correct. If he doesn't have any one drop. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with a failed push here. First. And then try to snipe an Eidolon. Alright, hopefully that gives us a land here. Logic Knot is not a good draw. Alright, Goblin Guide and a Swift Spear. Goblin Guide is actually something that I can block and can calculate, therefore I'm taking this one extra damage here in order to hopefully next turn be able to do something against it or about it. It's insane that we're not drawing any red sources, like whatsoever, in both games here. Because otherwise I think we would have reasonable hands. Well, now I have to let it through in order to go with the Snapcaster next turn. Insane. Oh my goodness. That even still does have that in his deck is really bad. Alright. So we got 8 life. No red mana still. 5 life. It's insane, dude. Insane. It's very unlikely that he does have access to 2 instant speed spells here. Therefore, I'm gonna go with a snap, return, and discard. Then we have a counterspell open. Problem is that he knows about the launch knot, which obviously makes it a little bit more complicated for us. So, I think the players terminate in order to be the most mana efficient that I can be. Drone is good, especially because now I do have access to a Snapcaster Mage if I want to. Alright. So doing something end of turn here is just suicide. Therefore, I think of what I'm gonna do. All brutality isn't too bad. Alright, those are good hits. My Snapcaster Mage can take care of the Eidolon. Or go with another brutality here. And then next turn we could start attacking. I'm at 7 at that point. And he'll lose life of that Eidolon as well. And I do have a counterspell. Yeah, I think I like that option. Because Island by itself doesn't do any harm here. Yeah. Because I'm taking it down to 10. Actually, let me see. Let's say he has a burn spell, some burn spell. Although I don't think so. I think this is land because otherwise he would have played it before he cast the Eidolon. So, unless it's a, what's it called? The one that prevents from life gain. So if I attack here with this, put him down to 10. Next burn spell, or if I attack with a Snapcaster Mage as well, he's down to 8. Then he puts me down to 5. And next turn, I get him down to 3, which the bolt will be lethal. Yeah, let's do that. Because if he wants to block here, that's fine either way. I had hoped though that he doesn't block. Because my Logic Knot is still good against whatever he's playing. Yeah, let's see, land. Swift Spear. Alright, I'm gonna counter that, and then he's dead. And to be entirely honest here, like, I didn't think that we would have the closest chance of winning this. Even attacking. I mean, of course, our opponent also drew a couple of lands, but we didn't draw red for the longest time, so I'm not gonna. Alright, so I think the lineup's okay for the most part, although, as I said, like, Croxa is not the best here. But I also don't want to go with like a Jace or something. That doesn't feel great as well. And we do have a hand that I can't keep. Not only because we don't have access to red again, but these dirtly hands with double something to set things up are just not keepable. Alright, so it's a keep. We have multiple removal spells. I think I'm gonna go with the Polluted Delta here. Cryptic can still be good at some point, and I can ditch it to Collective Brutality, so I think that's alright. So probably only one land here for our opponent. Opt. Opt is a card that I can also ditch to Brutality, that would be alright. So let's hope that he's stumbling on mana here for a bit. Another Cryptic, well, that ain't good. Alright, so he is stumbling on mana here a bit. Let's see if I can opt into an Inquisition here. Nope. So he's definitely got a very, very strong hand here. Oh, that didn't take too long. Let's be honest. So I can't go with the Collective Brutality just yet. Because if he doesn't have creatures, he certainly does have. Yep. Lightning Helix hurts double. Because it's basically a better collective brutality. So I'm pretty sure that if I do go with brutality here, that we're just gonna get got, and therefore I'm just gonna try to stay alive for a bit with the cryptics. As long as he does this type of play, I'm fine with that. Also this way I can actually get ahead on cards and accumulate something for the brutality. Alright. So I think we want to go with 3 here. This. Stick with this. Discard these. Yeah, so he had a skull crack all along. Searing Blaze is not good for the foreseeable future, therefore I'm gonna leave it there. The rest is instant speed, which is a problem, but if I let him keep the skull crack, then he will likely just leave mana open. Therefore, I think Sabora's Charm will only cut it down to 2 spells. Either if I fetch a card or let's go with Sabora's Charm. Because if I want to ever play that Kroxa. That's what I hoped my opponent to do here. Just not play anything. Yep. Nope. So I'm setting up here for the Kroxa as good as I can. And as long as I can. So this is gone. And now, alright, so Snapcaster Mage could be good for a turn or something. So we're taking 2 here. Which means if I go... Let's see. So alternatively to bolting the Eidolon here, I could also just try to use it against him, because he's already at 13, and he's still using that Sunbaked Canyon. Skull Crack. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Yeah, I think I'm gonna wait here for turn. Not go with Snapcaster Mage right away. Because I do want to have Drownloch open, just in case. Alright. Let's go with counter magic for a bit. There we go, skull crack. So down to 11. I do have Bold Snap Bold, which is 8. And then if I would draw a red or a black source for Kroxa, then he wouldn't be able to cast anything anymore. Alright. Now we're gonna be going on the aggressive side of things. Alright. So this is my spot, right? How do I lose next turn? I lose if he draws well, can only draw land or something, but not both. If I go with the Cryptic here, I could also bounce my Snapcaster. That might actually be the best. Because then I don't give him an opportunity, and I have triple bolt. Right? And that means like snap, collective brutality. Yeah, that means that I can't die this turn, and I will have lethal next turn if he uses either one of those. Yeah, I think that's the superior play here. Alright. So if I go 2 modes here, yeah, I think I'm going to go 2 modes, discarding the snap because I need to win here right now. This is a little bit short-sighted, of course. Because he basically has to know what's up now on that I'm trying to race. Alright. Alright. So it needs to deal damage to me in order to do something. Let's take this Searing Blaze because I'm going back up to 7. Can draw a card. Yeah. Alright. Yes. Used every tool at our disposal here to get there. Good games. Alright, enough to the next round here. Alright, welcome to round number 2. Horrible hand. Into horrible hand. Into horrible hand. Good. That is awesome. If this is Death Shadow, then our matchup actually has become quite a bit worse, because all these planeswalkers, of course, are very susceptible to... No, obviously, we're not playing against Death Shadow. That's not the deck that exists anymore. But yeah, it's gonna be all the more difficult here to grind on 5 cards. Might be a Sultai no deck, but we can't tell because Astrolabe enables all kinds of stuff. Alright, let's get our Kroxa into the graveyard. And it's gonna be Ice Fang Coil, I guess. Oh, Mana Leak. Well, that doesn't make a difference whatsoever. Opponent might actually be looking for lands. Never mind. So I think the only chance here of getting back into the game, for the most part, is just trying to slam that Jace. Therefore, I'm gonna be looking for another land here with my opt. Tarmogoyf is very annoying. Let's see if we can find something. That's not it. At least this way we can test if they do have counter magic. So yeah, I put Narset in here, especially for the Astrolabes, but of course the Tarmogoyf this turn makes it a little more difficult. I'm probably... well... I need double blue. No matter what. Another Mana Leak. Okay then. So, but that already means that he used the Field of Ruin here so proactively, means that he doesn't have an answer to that Kroxa. I mean, he could have countered it with the Mana Leak, I guess, but... So he's gonna use the field. Yeah, probably can't fetch right now. Need to try to fight on his turn. I can take another 5 damage here. Go to 7. And that might be... So I kind of expect that the Field of Ruin is going to hit my Water Grave. Therefore, I'm going to fetch for an island here so that he doesn't have another possibility here, possible hit. Then I'm going to try to bounce draw here. And this lets me remain above 5. Therefore, I could even take another hit if like both my Cryptic and my Jace get countered here. Yeah, that's what I thought. So it's going to be a mountain, so that we do have access to terminate just in case. Well, now we're just going to try it. I expect... okay. Interesting. Let's draw 3 cards, see if we draw lands. Nope, not at all. Cool. Oh my goodness. So this one's going, and I guess K-Command's going as well. And then I can only hope that my opponent's actually playing Assassin's Trophy in order to alright. Get rid of that Jace. So probably want to have another blue source here so that I do have Logic Knot and Opt. Must be Archmage Charm here, right? So we're still pretty far off of that Kroxa. Also, I need to find a Terminate or a Drone Lock to get rid of that Tormagoyf. I know about the one counter spell they do have in hand, and apparently the other spells are... Well, I guess Double Bolt works as well, right? So let's do that. To the top. Well, Drone Lock is somewhat better even. Alright. Let's try to kill this. And then even if he does have an Archmage, like a double counter here, I will be able to go with double Lightning Bolt as well. Alright. More. Alright, Monleak, sure. So since my last basic is a swamp, I'm gonna go with a Steam Benz here so that I do have access to double Logic Knot, should it come up. Cryptic Command, not the best right now, but okay. Actually surprised that we can still like hold ourselves here. Okay, so at least 2 counter spells. I expect 2 counter spells and 1 removal spell in his hand. Therefore, I'm not gonna play around another counter spell. Scalding Torrent, not the worst here. On the one hand, I do have access to Kroxa now. On the other hand, I do also have access to Cryptic plus something else. The only really bad thing that happens here is Ice Vacuole, I think. Alright, yeah, let's try it. Fuck it, let's do it. Yeah, if this is an Augmage Charm, I'm fine with... Oh. He's drawing 2 cards. And then potentially he's gonna be playing an Ice Vacuole. But I think I'm gonna let this resolve. I'm actually surprised that we're still in this game. On a mulligan to 5. Only like... Actually not a single card down anymore. I mean, burning him out will be very difficult here, not gonna lie. Especially if he finds an Uro. Thoughtseize, Ice Vacuole, Cryptic. Definitely have to go with the Ice Vacuole here, I think. I could also go with a Cryptic. But no. I think this is just better. So let's see. If I fight here, this is going to be Cryptic plus a mana leak. And the failed push is going to take care of my Cruxa. But I think I need to fight here. And hope that he doesn't want to get into it here. Okay. That's fine. If he had played it the other way around, it would have been worse for me. But now I can actually go counter that Cryptic and then just recast the Cruxas for a bit. Dude. Because our graveyard is plentiful. And as long as there's no Uro on his side of the table, we should be able to... He's also down to 12 now. There's his Uro. Yeah. Oh, look how happy he is about it. 4. needs another counterspell to actually play it, therefore I'm good with this. He's gonna gain 3 life and draw a card. One more turn I would have needed with that Croxa, then it's probably fine. The Euro might have been a little bit too early here. Thoughtseize, Scalding Torrent, and... So after this one, there's just one more activation, plus my Lodging Knot becomes increasingly worse. Force Indication, interesting. So he's gonna go with the Croxa, with the Uru. And then we have to figure out if it's better to counter here right now or to wait until next turn to kill the Uru. But I think I need to try to counter here. Uru's gonna come back, but we're gonna hit for best case scenario 9. My body tells me that I should not do anything here. Terminate. Now let's do it beforehand. So I guess he's not gonna go with a Cryptic now and run into my Lodging Knot. Which means he's gonna take either 6 or 9 here. Alright, so he's taken 9, which means my bolts are lethal. And I'm not gonna let that resolve. 1, 2. So 4 for Cryptic needs to protect unless he wants to replay the Uro again. Also, in theory, I could actually let the... Okay, interesting. Must have another counter spell like a Mana League or whatever. Or an Ice Fang Coil. Could also be an Ice Fang Coil, of course. So just in case something really bad happens here. Because he can't fetch. He's bouncing my Ura and my Kroxan. Yeah, I mean, if he fetches, he's dead. Interesting. Thoughtseize. Alright, so I do get another red source here. But we also need something off the top. It's also running lower and lower on cards. And play the lands, which means I guess there's Cryptic or Archmage Charm either way. Alright, let's see. This is the crucial turn. Either we get there or we fail. Tarmogoyf. I actually would have played that one, I think. So I think I'm willing to block here. What happens if he does have a snap or a cryptic in hand? I guess they're playing two cryptics. Could be a force negation though. Well. Alright, so now he's actually running out of, well, never mind. Jace. Interesting. Because I couldn't care less about it. And that also means that we're on the, like, we're doing stuff again with Croxa. And he's reacting, which I like. Is there any better way to tap here? No, I don't think so. Let me take a look here first with. All right. Shit. What happens if he does have a Mana Leak, another one? I don't think they're playing more than 2, but it's possible. Alright, let's take a different route here. Let's actually go with an Inquisition. Yeah, exactly what I thought. Exactly what I thought. Alright, then we're taking care of this. We haven't had a Snapcaster Mage yet, but... Lily... See if we can draw a snap. Yep. I wonder why he's not fetching anymore. Like, this Faluda Delta is a little bit weird. In that it doesn't do anything anymore. I don't know how many times they activated that rule already. It's quite insane. Quite insane. And the Goif. Well, that is really bad. Now we really have a problem. Alright, let's assume there's still a fail push and something else. I don't think there's a counter spell. Therefore, let's see how Snapcaster works out here. I'm going to target the Drown Loch. Because that is also defensive. Like, well, good defensively. And then probably want to return the Goif and kill the Uru, right? Because otherwise he draws another card. Alright, so Jace at least can bounce again, at least for once. Alright, so he didn't have a fetchable land, and just did that to get 6 cards into the bin with Ura. Does have another card that he can't use, and he's just doing that to protect the Ura, I guess. Or a counterspell in case he's also playing snaps. So Liliana makes it that our Titan is bigger than his Titan or the Goyf, right? Jace makes it so that I can bounce 1 threat at least. Oh shit, a 3rd Goyf. Yeah, now it's difficult. Now it's difficult. Alright. So if I bounce the Uro again, alright, another Snapcaster Mage is good, because now I do have Snap, do something, bounce something. Shit. Bolt Snap Bolt. I could kill 1. I should have done it differently, I think. If it draws a removal spell, I'm probably dead. And of course, if there's a cryptic command in hand. Ah, well. Never mind. Sign I 4, 5. So he draws a cryptic or a removal spell off the top. Then I'm dead. Oh well. No, 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 shit. I didn't activate the Liliana otherwise. I actually could have zeroed a Tarmogoyf there. Interesting. If I had activated the Liliana here, we would be in a really good spot, I think. Oh, we're gonna double block. Now the Kolaghan's command is actually also gonna be okay. Okay, just a land off the top there. And now I can kill a Goyf. I actually, yeah. But it doesn't matter because of the Liliana. And then I'm going to draw 3 cards, see if I can get rid of that other Goyf as well, which will leave just Uru's activation next turn. And that I can at least stop from getting a more card advantage through the Narset. And if I hadn't been so sloppy last turn and just pressed F6 instead of activating the Liliana, our position would be even better. Yeah, that's not a card that I want. Yeah. Good job, friend. Alright, you get the Uru, but you don't get to draw cards anymore. Is this game won? Fuck my life. Alright. I don't actually think that I need to do this, but yes. Because he's already going for the timeout here. But if we win this game, then I can play the next game pretty fast. Which means that I basically have to really fight for that Tarmogoyf. Alright. So we got like 10 seconds that we are behind here. Which is pretty sick. So, alright. Gonna get rid of this. Probably also gonna get rid of this. I'm just gonna do a denial strategy here. This coming in, this coming in, this coming in, this coming in. Spell bombs are coming in. I actually don't like Hologon's command here. We're already at 60. What card isn't great? Croxa isn't great. Okay. Let's see where this takes us. It's so insane, like, just as you saw there, everybody's just activating their Urus and Croxas for a million times because neither player does have mainboard Graveyard Hate, which is insane because Wizards, despite printing all these powerful cards from that are generating value through the graveyard, there's no card, except for Kaya's Guile, that I would accept, that actually has utility outside of a graveyard deck and is still being played there. I think I'm gonna chip this. Don't like it. Okay. So I'm gonna go and get rid of this and this. Lol. This means that my Nils Problem actually does not draw any cards. But this also means that my opponent must have been on mulligan as well, right? No, 7 cards. Okay then. Yeah, so I'm not gonna draw anything here. But this is not about winning the game anymore. Because neither player can win this in time. Never ever. Never have I ever. Alright, 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 alright. We're just gonna try it because I don't care. He's not even fetching. Yeah, well played. So, I'm actually not doing anything here. I do have my tar pit to defend myself. And I actively want him to play more Tarmogoyfs here. And I'm also a minute ahead now. So, yeah. Oh, so strong. LOL! LOL! Too many legs! What? What was that? My goodness, Moto. Come on, dude. Come on, dude. No, 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 no. So Moto's completely fucking up here. He's completely cutting down on everything. That wasn't very good. So I'm not talking a whole lot anymore. That took him like 30 seconds to just get that thing done. And he also skipped the possibility here of actually getting rid of it. Alright, so I think that we got rid of all the Tarmogoyfs at least. Which means... Alright, so we've got a Jace. And he's targeting me. Okay. That's actually not a bad card. So I just want to have her on the battlefield. I'm not doing anything about it with her. Then I think, I mean, Field of Ruin checks my Creeping Torpid. I actually might have to attack the Jace now. Yep. So I'm still a minute ahead here. We're still fighting the fight here. I don't even think that I should do anything anymore. I should probably just skip the turns. Because, actually, into their library, yeah. So I need to have... Yeah, that was stupid. Good job. Yeah, I need to auto-resolve. Always yield. Alright. Nope. He also does have 2 more life through that Termaggoyf. Yeah. I don't actually care anymore. I'm gonna block here, and then I'm just gonna go skip turn. I would win here 100% if I just played it out normally. Therefore, I don't actually give a fuck anymore. But I can already tell you, Bitter Blossom is definitely a good card in the matchup. I mean, I don't even know what my opponent's fighting for here, because he's a game down. Like, what are you trying to do? Alright. GG's. What the fuck? With 1 second on the clock, like almost surviving 2 turns. Alright, GG's. Shit. What a game. But I really gotta say, like, both Liliana Last Hope and Narset really paid off there. And Bitter Blossom is a good sideboard card. Alright, off to the third round. Alright, welcome back to round number 3. And I got to say, after these first 2 rounds, and after having played Esper and Merfolk a little bit recently, although Grixis isn't in the best spot right now, there's no deck on this planet that I'm having this much fun with. Yeah, on the draw we kind of keep. Grixis is such, well. That is certainly not great, especially because we're gonna be hit by that shitty. Well, maybe we'll get a turn. Oh no. Oh my goodness. Oh my fucking goodness. Alright, Thoughtseize, we need you. No! Alright, Liliana's actually pretty good here. But I fear that we won't get to that stage of the game where we can actually utilize her. So my only hope here is that he actually doesn't have a bounce land, basically. Because he's sure as hell, well, actually better that he doesn't have a Titan. Because we can probably handle most of the things, but not a Titan itself. I made myself a tea to calm my nerves. In these unsettling times. So lol. Let's see what he does with that Sakura Tribe Scout here. Because Castle Garenbrig, as long as he does have another snow-covered green source, I mean, not necessarily snow-covered. He's got the mana anyway. Okay. My goodness, this is really annoying. So if I get rid of this right now, and he doesn't have another green source and can't bounce anything, like he could in theory also produce green, bounce something, and then replay it, produce another green. But if that's not the case, and we can shrine him here for one more turn. So this means that he either has to discard a Titan or the land that he would normally use to play the Titan. Alright, did have a bounce land though. Next turn we do have a snap K command again. So I assume that there just wasn't a payoff yet. I'm not sure. Field of the Dead will pose a problem at some point as well, though. So this might be a Dryad. So what's the last card in his hand? Is it the Titan? Don't really know, but I also can't wait to see. Because with the Dryad, of course, now... Alright, so it wasn't a Titan. But now he has Castle Garenbrig here online. Which means if he draws a Titan... Bezuva. That will be its 6th land here. And of course you could also use this. Yeah. Right. As long as there's no land off the top right now, I think it's alright. Because now I can snap opt. We have 4 damage per turn on the battlefield, which means it's a 4-turn clock. Let's put this to the top, not for this turn, but for next turn. Because I'm gonna go Lily here. Kill that shit. Have a win condition on the battlefield. And with the polluted delta I can actually grab another drone loch or a logic knot if I really want to. And there we go. Well, that was rather lucky. So let's get the Bitter Blossoms in just to have a little bit. Also, it's great against these very grindy amulet decks that are attacking on the ground, and I just go with like over the top a little. So Ashiok. Croxa, probably not. Damnations. Okay, commands this, and then Damnations, I guess. And then we're relying heavily on those. Yeah, let's skip. Heavily relying on those Bitter Blossoms to get us there. So I need double black, but I also need red. I think I'm going to start off with the Scalding Torrent, fetching for Steam Vents. Just in case there's something come down that I need to hit with my Archiok. Alright, so he's probably going to have... no Dryad here. Okay. Snappy. Now let's put it on top. Go with this, just in case there's a Dryad coming that I need to hit with a Terminate. And then next turn, we're gonna go with... So now the question is, do I actually want to go with the Snapcaster already? Or don't I? Alright. So I'm not going to target him with open mana, because that could always result in... a thingy coming down. Actually, this Sakura Triscope wouldn't have been good really here without any more lands, so maybe I should have just let that resolve, or let it be in play in favor of getting a land here. Shit. So you can't go with Dryad, Summer's Pact. Alright, those were actually pretty good hits. And he also only has 4 mana. That is 6. Alright, so it's a Titan, but we do have Ashiok, therefore that thing isn't doing anything. Alright, hit another Summoner's Pact. Which is not the worst. Another Titan? Alright. That is actually a problem. That is a problem now. Not just yet, but it will become a big problem. Another Pact plus Field. Alright, welcome back to round number 4. After winning round number 3-2-0, I actually, as I said before, like I do have my start-stop recording on my space. Therefore, I do have, like, I'll show you in a second what just happened. Because I just forget, you know, because I never typed anything. Alright, so... Liliana beats Ice Vanquil, Kolaghan's Command beats Stoneforge. So from that perspective, I should actually take the Force in the Asian here, right? But that does not seem like... Pretty sure that's not how the game's gonna go. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Force. Because if I can get down my Liliana, she can actually dominate the battlefield, I think. For the most part. Alright, so got the Liliana down. Which will make my life a lot easier against these tiny creatures. And then I only need to take care of the Batterskull. Okay. Sword of Feast and Famine is here as well. Alright, let's get rid of that. So it does not have... Oh, there's a basic forest as well. These are the 4 cards that he has. And then the biggest problem is... Maybe I should have done that differently. Because if I go with the K command now, he's going to play the Batterskull. And I can't really interact with that. Because he needs to tap more than one. Well, let's see. Okay, snap could be good at some points. With these the Discard spells. If I need to get rid of that better skull again. Right, so this is a weird play overall, because it doesn't really enhance what my opponent's trying to do here. I think I can do this, especially with the Thoughtseize. So my Liliana is actually pretty close to just ulting here. I just need to tick her up this turn, and next turn I alter her, and that's probably a certain win. So I just need to keep him off of whatever he's trying to do here, and that means if I go Lightning Bolt here, yeah, he's got to play the Batter Skull. Which means if I go K command right now, it's probably gonna retract it, right? It's just one unknown card in hand. Yeah. Alright. And then we're gonna Thoughtseize it. What the fuck? What is happening here? No. No. What? No. Am I still recording? I think so. Yep. Alright, so Uro is come down now, most likely. But that's not going to stop my Liliana, and since even Uro can only attack so much, and Sword of Feast and Famine is already gone. I'm going to bounce the Uro. Got a Mana Leak. Oh, that's lucky. Alright, so Uro's gonna draw a bunch of cards and gain him a lot of life. But as long as I can maintain one zombie a turn on the battlefield, I think I should build an advantage here. Plus, at some point I'm also gonna be able to block him dead. So you could decide to path here, just to reduce the amount of creatures that I get. Yeah. So if he's gonna go and just draw cards here, okay, I'm gonna try to bolt it because he needs to have another. He needs to have a cryptic here. Don't think they're playing more than. Oh, it does have a Snapcaster. What? That's actually sick. And also pretty bad because I don't think that's a good fit for the deck, but that's fine. Alright, so we're taking care of the Jace, which he probably hoped to protect with that there. So I'm just gonna get rid of this here as well. And at some point we're probably also gonna draw our Kroxa that we're also playing. But I really gotta say, like, all these games are so insanely grindy. It's insane. So Crux is coming back, but those Path to Exiles are gone, which is great. Which is actually necessary. So I really have to be a little bit careful with my Creeping Tar Pit. Because what I can't have... Well... Alright. Because the only way I'm losing this is through... either the Ice Fang Coil being equipped with a sword, or a chained Cryptic Command. More Urus. Well, then it's good that I bounce it. Well, that's the Uru, of course. What is that? Teferi? Yeah, so my number of zombies is grown exponentially. So he only has like 1 or 2 more turns to actually get the Uru out and chain Cryptic Commands. Which is very possible. Like with Cryptic Command and Uru on the battlefield, he just needs to bounce those Mystic Sanctuaries to get there. And this means that next turn I do have access to Snapcaster Mage again, which is great. Whew, so strong on this field. So I'm doing this first. Because I actually don't want anything else to happen. So let's see if he does something. Then I'm gonna go Teferi, Teferi, Teferi. Him. Him, Teferi. That doesn't really kill him here, but I do have Snap Bolt, therefore that will be alright. Alright, so Supreme Verdict actually is a problem. Well, let's see how you handle this. And there's a Jace as well. Alright. Look at the top cards. Yes, I would like to look at the top cards. Nope. So now actually the Euro is only half as good because of the Norse set, and I just love how I built the deck. Alright, so Spell Snares, yes. Bitter Blossom, yes. Croxa, probably no. K-Command, yes. Jace, no. Cryptic, probably also no. I want to have a Spellbomb though. And I want to have this. Yeah, so if I'm running into a if I'm running into a Veil of Summer, I just don't want to be also trading it down on mana if I'm already trading down on cards. Alright, so I do like the double Spell Snare, especially against the Stoneforge deck. On the other hand though, I really need to have black. Come on, play that Stoneforge. No? Alright. Shit, Bitter Blossom's also great. Right now. So I'm pretty sure that my opponent actually does have Veil of Summer in hand, and that we're just tiptoeing around that specific card. 100%. So what I'm doing, do want to have that. So if I play the Snapcaster right now, does that give me an advantage? I don't think so. So he does have Mono League, he does have some things to punish me here if I do something. So I'm just going to go with the Scalding Tarn, which is probably going to convert into a Blood Crypt. I know that I'm going to run into a Veil of Summer here, but better now than next time. Mystical Dispute, well, that's fine. So he might have just set up here to get with the Teferi, especially if he does have a Mystical Dispute up as well. So Blood Crypt. Ooh, Lily. Lily is also very strong here. So I assume that he would have played the Veil of Summer if he had one in hand. If this is a Cryptic, that's fine. Alright. So that will allow me to go with my Beta Blossom here. Whoops. Could have also gone with the Snap Inquisition. But I think getting Bitter Blossom down is more important, especially if my opponent does not have a Teferi in hand. Otherwise, it's a problem. Alright. So he has to bounce the Bitter Blossom, which means that I can probably get rid of the Teferi there. Unless... well, nothing unless. Okay. Let's do this. Alright, so the way he waited there, I assume there's another counterspell somewhere. Therefore, I'm not going to go with the Liliana yet. Also because my Bitter Blossom is actually pretty good against the Ice Fang Walls. And potentially my Snap can also still do some work. Alright, it does have another counterspell here. And the fetch for that. And therefore, there's definitely one more thing somewhere. So I'm gonna wait first to see what he's actually drawing up. And it is a Battered Skull, which is okay. It's not super great here, I think, unless he has more swords already somewhere. Now there it is. Yeah. And you see, without that Veil of Summer, I'd be so far ahead here. So far ahead. So I'm getting my Snapcaster Mage back so that next turn I do have access, or do have my Liliana open to actually use her proactively. Ooh. Purging my Bitter Blossom. And this is actually a sideboard card that, you know, most people, first of all, wouldn't probably bring in against me. And second of all, you first have to have in your sideboard anyway, so. LOL. Yeah, and at that point, you know, one has to say, that's actually quite insane. That's actually absolutely insane. Alright, so that Better Skull is gonna come down this turn, I guess. So I need to find something before that happens. That's not that. That's also not that. And I played the land here before, just to evade a mystical dispute. I should probably get that down already. No way. And this is what I mean, right? So we're playing against a deck that has been outplayed on every corner here. We've actually... So I can decide on either going with next turn Damnation, killing everything, or alternatively killing the Teferi next turn. Let's go with the Tarpit first, I think. Teferi, and I need to leave this behind. Just so that I don't run into a Sword of Feast of Famine. But this is what I mean, right? So every single one of their cards is so much better than every single one of our cards that it doesn't even matter like at which point we're at in the game. If they stick with one single threat, one single card, we're just falling so far behind that we won't be able to get there anymore. Alright, this is an interesting one. So I don't have a counter spell in my graveyard that I could put there. But I, in theory, would have a removal spell. Or a lightning bolt, both of which are possible, I guess. So Teferi, him, because if he has a path here, he's gonna go for my Creeping Torpid anyway. Interesting. So there's a Sword of Feast and Famine. And an unknown card, right? So if I put the Fail Push on top right now and target the Better Skull, then that won't do me any good, right? So, nope. Great. Okay. Well, if he's not bringing the Sword of Feast and Famine in, then I'm actually not gonna block here. There's no real use for me to do that. And that also means that I don't need Damnation yet. So I'm just gonna skip here. Yep. So obviously this is gonna hurt if he equips everything. Otherwise it's okay. So we're gonna block here. This basically doesn't do anything. So now we have to hope. Oh shit, I'm not playing Mystic Sanctuary in this build. Well, I could have gotten that a little earlier. That's bad then, of course. Then it's looking really grim. Alright. Yep. But in between, I think, like, both we had them already, and that was really lucky. So Ashio is coming in as well, and I think Logic Knot's gonna go out. And this is what I hate so much. Like, you're playing a game and you're so far ahead in every metric. Alright, let's have a look at what they're doing. Uru Stoneforge Path. That's not a whole lot of anything. So the question is, if I go and take the Snapcaster Mage here over the Stoneforge, will he be running into my spells here or not? Let's go with the Stoneforge. Let's get our stuff off as early as possible here. So there's just nothing in the bin yet that he could utilize. Also, my Neil Spellbomb is kind of securing that spot. So I think this is still the pick. And then I can go with the opt. And a turn. He's gonna play the Urn next turn. Because he basically has to. And then I can go with Nil Spellbomb. I have to be a little bit careful here with my life total. Mainly because of Bitter Blossom. Alright, so hopefully this is just going to be a Neuro and not a Teferi. Potentially looks like it though. Alright, so opt, not Inquisition. Certainly not. Alright. So, and I'm gonna get rid of it before anything else happens here. Drawing an additional card. Yes. Okay. Playing this one. Untapped. Reason being, if my opponent is playing a Teferi and does have a Veil of Summer or something backup, then I want to be able to flash in my second Snapcaster Mage so that even if he bounces a Snapcaster Mage, it's not too bad for me. I probably shouldn't have done that. Give him the opportunity here before I do anything. So he doesn't have white yet, so he needs to use this. Which means that I can probably go with my Snappy. And just go Inquisition, hopefully. Because even if I run into a Veil of Summer here, I think that's okay. Exactly because of this. Exactly because of this. So they do have two snaps that are very annoying, but I definitely need to get rid of the Teferi. So Kroxa, double black, double red. I think it's a little bit easier for us. Oh, never mind. No, I boarded out Kroxa anyway, I think. Then, of course, the black source would have actually been better. Alright, so he is playing on pathing here with a snap first. Oh, dude. We are just drawing too many lands again. Alright, so we really can't draw more lands here, otherwise we're fucked. We're already 5 cards ahead of him in those terms. Actually, yeah, let's do that. Alright, so he's been careful. More lands, fuck. I mean, it's the best land that we could have possibly drawn, but we're only playing 22 lands, dude. So he's not going without another. Alright. He can't possibly counter this, right? I don't think so. He can't play the Cryptic, therefore my Bitter Blossom should be good. So I'm gonna counter this, or try to counter this, because I don't want him to draw into a Celestial Purge, which would just really kill me here right now. since I know 3 of the 4 cards in his hand, which is Cryptic, Stoneforge, and a Snap. So I need some sort of counter magic and or sort of Feast and Famine. So I don't want to go with a... Oh, whoa, we're already in time. So I don't want to let that Astrolabe resolve before I do stuff here. Because by itself, Sword doesn't really do anything. And now I got 6 damage plus the next turn 7 damage. I could actually, maybe this, nah, that was probably a mistake. I should have waited for that Astrolabe now and then killed the Stoneforge plus the Astrolabe so that he doesn't have an additional blue source. But still, without a Battle Skull, it's gonna be difficult, I think. I could kill my Snap to get it back next turn. I don't think I'm at that point yet, but that's definitely a viable option here. So you could just go with a Cryptic draw. Let's see. He has to block something. Yeah. And that's the best choice. Well, the only card that he can block, but on bottom, I think. Never mind. That wasn't great. Alright, so if he taps out at any given moment in time here, I'm gonna go with a Snap Bolt. And obviously I did put it to the bottom there, because if I draw, if I top it, I have to put a Bolt on top, and then I can't use it in that turn anymore, while also playing around a... a mana leak. Fuck my life. Alright, let's see. He's got the cryptic. What is these? Alright, but that will still leave open my Creeping Torpid, and for that he will have to have so I don't think that he can beat this. I go snap now. Bolt him. Alternatively, I could have also gotten like if he counters here, I still have Liana up to redo the whole thing. Alright, we're 4-0 and off to the last round. Alright everybody, welcome back to the last round here of Modern today. We're 4-0, which is actually amazing. It really paid off, like the changes really paid off in almost all the matchups. Hands are, like, I don't know how many times I mulliganed to 5 already this league. I think I'm going to keep this and just ditch the Logic Knot because everything else is almost playable if I just draw one blue source. And if we're playing against Ponza right now, then this is the probably one of the worst hands possible. Utopia Sprawl. Okay. Well, that was awkward. So Hexdrinker probably means that this is indeed Ponza, but the mid-range variant, and there's not a whole lot of land destruction happening. So I'm not going after the Arbor Elf because I need to stop the Hexdrinker before that actually becomes a 4/4. 2 is fine. 3 is not okay though. Okay. Yeah, so for the most part, this is what I hoped for. I was able to stop the Hexdrinker from becoming basically unbeatable. At the same time, huh. At the same time, he sank 2 mana into it. Probably didn't have a better play, especially discarding like 3 lands, but nonetheless, he could have had, and therefore think that's fine. Also, additional season Pyromancer has now become very good, of course. So I'm counting very hard on this Croxa, actually. Especially if my opponent's playing Blood Moon, so that any other land that I play actually is a moon. Alright, so yes. I could of course also just go with a Snapcaster Mage here. Perfect. That is freaking lucky. So drawn 2 cards. And I probably want to have my Snapcaster Mage hit the bin here. Get rid of Seasoned Pyromancer. Because I need to have one more card in the graveyard. Yeah, let's do this while also fetching for a blue source. It's a little bit risky, the line, but it's fine, I think. Alright. So my Croxa is definitely not allowed to die at any given point in time here, because we're never gonna get it back. Arbor Elf. Interesting that he didn't play that, so must have been a protection for that Croxa, for something bigger. Questing Beast. Well, that thing has Death Touch and Vigilance. So, yeah. That's actually... Like, I'm gonna take the hit here, because he has to block anyway. Unless I'm gonna be able to... Alright. Would it be feasible for me to take one more hit off of that Questing Beast to then... No, right. No. I have to do something here. And just rely on the Croxa coming back from the graveyard at some point. Might have a Bolt in hand and just think about killing me here. Pillage. Alright. Yeah. Reasonable. And that was, I mean, probably the only card in this entire deck that can get rid of my Croxa. It does have Vigilance as well. This card is so ridiculous and just stands for everything that's WotC's just doing wrong right now. And exactly what I also meant before. Like, cards just do so much by now. It's insane. So need to somehow fill my graveyard fast. We're drawing so many lands. Alright. So I could just target him. Want to, if I have a fetch land next turn, I will be able to do stuff. I could also sag my tar pit. Like if I use the Drown Loch here, I have one additional card. This goes to the bin, this goes to the bin. Yeah, I just go Inquisition him here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Glorybringer. Oh my goodness. Better lucky than good. Do we even survive this turn? Kill here, block here, take 5. But then next turn, the Crux is also not gonna help me. Alright, this doesn't change anything about what I have to do. Alright, even if he wouldn't have attacked with the Magus there. So what card, like if I go with a Jace here, what card does actually... There's no card that helps me here, right? Can only keep one anyway. Nope. Well, so... Want to have Damnations. Want to have Collective Brutality. Don't think I want Logic Knots. I don't want to have Cryptics. Don't want to have Jaces as well. Spell Bomb. And Fatal Push. Could also go with Bitter Blossom, but I think the Ponza deck is too aggressive. Alright, let's keep. It's just ridiculous. This is just ridiculous. Alright, so I'm gonna go with Clothis because once that comes down I can't deal with it anymore, and it rams and deals damage. And we should be able to get rid of the other two cards. Hopefully strand him for a bit. Purge of course is also a problem, but one problem at a time here. Alright. Let's see. So pillage could become a problem. But he needs another red source here first. It does have it, of course. Because why would he be stranded at some point? Alright. Probably does have the 4th mana for the questing bees as well. Yes, of course. It's so insane. So insane. And another Clothis, dude. Alright. I mean, sure. Sure. Also the... Oh my goodness. Alright, GG's. So, overall, I think the league went pretty well for us. I really like the main board configuration, especially with Lilianas and Norsets. I think they were really good right now. Overall, Croxa was good, but not exceptional. I could also see myself playing Jace again and then going with the split between Opt and Serum Visions. And really go like, or become mid-range kind of control deck. But yeah, overall, like we beat the snow decks 2 times in a row, which was great. Bitter Blossom performed really good. Beat Big Mana as well. On Titan, Ashioks were clutch, although my opponent thought that was actually not a good card for my deck. Spell Snare, exceptionally good. Could also see them in the main board, but as we've also seen against like Amulet Titan, against Ponza right now, there's just no 2 mana spells, right? So in 50% of the decks, the games, Spell Snare will be really good, and the other 50% it's going to be really bad. Therefore, I think as a sideboard card it's good, and then Neil Spellbolt also fine. So I hope you enjoyed the league. Sorry again that due to me writing or responding to my opponent, the one league there is cut off. I also wanted to show you because yeah, this is every time I use space, a new video, or every 2 times I use space, a new video was created. Therefore, that was a little bit fucked up. But overall, tell me how you like the deck, how we adapted to the meta game, and see you around next time, guys.